I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Clerk Wright, could you call the roll?
Yes, trustee Kelly.
Here.
Trustee Boyd.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Croatia.
Here.
Clerk Vice President, Trustee Bud.
Here.
Supervisor. Here.
Thank you, Clerk. Executive summary, there will be an amendment to the agenda today. We are removing action item number 6. There was a technical problem with the ordinance on signs. The consent agenda today consists of board meeting minutes, the prepay list, the voucher list, and approval of a fireworks display permit for a fireworks display at the Belleville Yacht Club on July 6th with a rain date of July 7th. We're also approving a resolution for an agreement with Wayne County for improvements to Van Buren Park, a grant. An approval of an updated agreement with Norfolk Southern Railroad to construct Section J, a rail crossing for the Iron Bell Trail. Approval also of the attorney recommendation for the May 7th closed session. And approval of resolution 2407 to recognize Savage Elementary School PTO as a local nonprofit in Van Buren Township. That's a technicality to allow them to recoup money. New business today includes discussion on amending the fee schedule for the existing towing agreement with Great Lakes Towing, and we're adding J&P Provo. Discussion on a 3-year extension for contract assessing services with WCA. Discussion on a revision to Cobblestone Creek Plan Development. Discussion on the selection of Michigan Building Cleaning and Maintenance for the janitor services at the community center. And discussion on the agreement with Van Buren Community Players at the community center. We'll also be discussing a budget for the amendment for Safe Streets. There's also going to be a resolution to commence eminent domain proceedings along Belleville Road and discussion of a resolution request of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Committee keep the city of Belleville, Van Buren Township, and Sumter Township districted together in the future Senate district map. Adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion while removing action item number 6?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda with the removal of item number 6.
Okay.
Support.
All right, we've got a motion, I've got support, hearing any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item is, the consent agenda. Who would like that?
Through the chair,
Mr. Boynton, trustee Boynton.
I move that we accept the consent agenda, which consists of the following. Board meeting minutes of April 16th, the prepaid list of April 18th, April 25th, and May 2nd, and the voucher list of May 7th, all of 2024. Approve of the fireworks display permit application for a firework display by Belleville Yacht Club on Saturday, July 6, 2024, with a rain date of Sunday, July 7, 2024. Approval of resolution 2024-05, agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the Township of Van Buren for improvements to Van Buren Park. Approval of the updated agreement with Norfolk Southern Railroad to construct the Iron Bell Trail Section J rail crossing with no monetary changes. Approval of attorney recommendation from May 7th, 2024 closed session. And approval of resolution 2024-07 to recognize Savage Elementary School PTO as a local nonprofit in Van Buren Township.
Support.
Thank you. I've got a motion by trustee Boynton, supported by treasurer Bud. Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We're in a public hearing. We have none today. Correspondence, announcements, and presentations. Inquiry from the board of anything Yeah,
I do.
okay.
I just would like to let you know that my deputy, Sean Ellington, has now been certified again and is upkept as Michigan Certified Assessing Officer #2.
All right. All right, is anybody from the public that wants to make an announcement? Yeah, could you check the number?
I do not have any virtual hands up in our online forum.
Public comment. We're now in public comment, where anybody from the public can comment on anything on today's agenda. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Hearing none, we move on to unfinished business. We have none. New business, line item number 1, discussion and consider approval of amending the fee schedule for the existing tow agreement with Great Lakes and JT Croma.
Through the chair,
Done, by trustee Pointer.
that we approve of amending the fee schedule for the existing tow agreement with Great Lakes Towing and J&T Kroger.
Thank you. Police Chief Wright.
Good evening, board. Back in March, I was contacted by Great Lakes Towing, and they had asked me if they could increase their fees. And I said, well, what are you talking about? So they sent me a spreadsheet explaining the fee that has been in existence since 2017 when we went into an agreement with them, and then what their proposed increase would be. I took a look at it, and knowing how the economy has been and the fees that are in the current towing agreement have been there since 2017 and have not changed. They've never asked for a change since then. I looked at them. I didn't find them to be unreasonable. I know all their rates have gone up like all of ours, our insurance and fuel and everything. So I wanted to bring this to you. These are the fees that they charge when they tow vehicles for accidents or abandoned vehicles. It itemizes certain items. Their fee schedule breaks down based on the size of vehicles. It breaks down on whether they have to overturn a vehicle. Again, nothing looked like it was inappropriate, at least in my mind, knowing what the economy's like. So I didn't want to just to say it was okay because it was an agreement that you approved. I wanted to make sure I brought it to you and provide the spreadsheet so you could see for yourself. I also have Great Lakes here. If you have any questions, they can answer as well.
Thank you for coming out. Does anybody have any questions? No. And it's actually worked out. Now, anybody that needs a towing service in Van Buren can call anybody they want. But if you want to be party to our dispatching you, you must agree to have the same approved rates, which is why we're at J&T, because they have a half and Great Lakes side is the other half. So we're keeping them even. And there's no formal contract. I mean, if they mess up, they know. All we have to do is stop saying Great Lakes. It's done. So it's a good system. It works. Happy with it. All right, I've got a motion by trustee Boynton, supported by clerk Wright. There are no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next set of discussion and consider approval of a 3-year extension for contract for assessing services with Wayne County Assessing. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
I move to consider approval of a 3-year extension for contracted assessing services with WCA.
Support.
All right, Deputy Supervisor Sullivan.
Good evening, board. So as you had a chance to review the agreement, it is pretty standard. There's no changes within the contract itself, only monetary changes, which provides for a 5% increase over the next 3 years. This was a budgeted expense. It's budgeted out of assessing contract services. And Jennifer Stamper has been an excellent resource in our office. She is phenomenal to represent several other communities She probably goes above and beyond what's in our agreement as is, and works well with all of our departments. Great mentor to the other assessors in our office. We're lucky to have her, probably quite a bit of savings going the contracted route this time period. So with that, be happy to answer any questions.
We've gone to this system where we have, two lower level assessors, one that actually doubles as a, in the supervisor's office, another job. And then we have the level 4, this person who comes in and reviews all the work and does all the stuff that's a little bit above it. System works, we didn't do it before because we had Linda Stevenson and then she was excellent. But it's a system that's so good that almost every community around us has picked that system up and used this company for this. So it is it's a good way to control costs. Any other questions? Yeah, the motion by trustee Kelly, supported by trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is discussion on to consider approval of a revision in the Cobblestone Creek Land Development Agreement. Yes.
I make a motion to approve a revision to Cobblestone Creek Plan Development by David Straub of M.I. Homes of Michigan LLC, case 23-075.
Support.
All right, go ahead. Director.
Thank you. This is the final approval of the PRD amendment that was recommended for approval by the Township's Planning Commission at their April 24th meeting. The scope of the PRD amendment is to amend the percentage of homes in the development that have side entry projects, 30% to 22.7%, reducing the number of units which have those side entry projects. In exchange for this, the builder has offered some additional architectural treatments for a certain number of the buildings with projects. At the meeting on April 24th, the Planning Commission considered placing some recommendations to acquire the development to implement some measures with regards to sitting down with township staff and working out some strategies to address stormwater issues in other areas of the development, but ultimately did not add them as conditions of the recommended approval. The PRD amendment did not change any aspect of the previously approved project other than we're having a smaller number of units with side entry projects. The Cobblestone Creek development has an existing stormwater permit from Wayne County and an original approval from the township for their existing stormwater system. The current PRD agreement does not alter the scope of the original stormwater permit in terms of anticipated runoff, paved surfaces, or number of units which can be constructed. An approval or denial of this PRD agreement will not impact how much stormwater runoff will be entering into the existing stormwater facilities or the Jewett drain. This development infrastructure had been previously installed, and the developer was previously approved to start building homes by the Planning Commission late last year. Due to the concerns raised by residents regarding stormwater issues on the site, there are a few items which we've undertaken. And also the residents have undertaken, the county has undertaken. The concern regarding the Jewett drain has resulted in a petition for Wayne County, and their Drain Commission Board of Determination has determined that a project is necessary for the Jewett drain to clean the drain out. They will be submitting this project to their engineers and bidding it out into the future. So that's underway. Director Lawrence and I have met with several members of the Cobblestone Creek Homeowners Association and have encouraged them to have their stormwater system inspected to ensure that it is properly maintained, working efficiently, and that there's no issues with their ponds, their pipes, inlets, or outlets, which could potentially cause some of the concerns that they've had. Also, at the April 24th meeting, the Planning Commission also encouraged M.I. Homes to sit down with township staff to discuss these issues to see if there's any opportunities to limit any drainage from those home sites that they plan to build on. M.I. Homes has indicated that they are interested in doing this and will be sitting down with township staff in the near future to discuss. Currently, in all the home sites, the existing system is designed for each home to have a direct connection from their sump pump to their stormwater system. So there's a direct tie in there. We did verify with M.I. Homes that there are no roof drains or gutters, so that they will not be tied directly into that stormwater system which leads in the backyard. So at this time, the planning commission staff are recommending approval based upon the findings and conditions of their consultant reports. This concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
The local cobblestone HOA knows all about this.
I believe so.
Okay, I got a motion by trustee Martin, supported by trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, we'll wait a second. Yeah. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 4. Discussion on consider approval of the selection of Michigan building cleaning maintenance for contract. Clerk Wright.
I make a motion to consider approval of the selection of Michigan Building Cleaning and Maintenance for a 1-year contract that will provide janitorial services at the DVC for a monthly cost of $16,016.
Support.
Director.
Good evening, board. A bid for janitorial services at the DVC was released to the public on March 19th of this year. A mandatory pre-bid walkthrough was held on Tuesday, March 26th. We received bids and publicly read them on Tuesday, April 16th. 3 bids were received, one from ABM Industries, one from Michigan Building Cleaning and Maintenance, and one from Master Maintenance. Post-bid interviews were conducted the week of April 22nd for each firm. During the interviews, township staff discovered that ABM, the low bid price, included only 1 staff person per shift for the open hours of the DVC. Staff was concerned that this would not provide adequate staffing levels, especially during peak time, and it could potentially lead to a lower level of cleanliness in our new facility. Additionally, restrooms and locker rooms would have to be frequently shut down and cleaned with only 1 staff on the shift. So because of that, township staff is recommending Michigan Building Cleaning and Maintenance for the contract award. This company will provide 2 to 3 staff per shift Monday through Friday, and 2 staff on the weekends during open hours. As a reminder, our facility will be open 85 hours per week. After the post-bid interviews, facilities coordinator Harvey visited a few of the bidders' project sites and was pleased at the quality of work from Michigan Building Cleaning and Maintenance. If approved, the contract will last 1 year and be paid from community services contracted services. The monthly cost is $16,016.
Any questions? Do they do any other community center like buildings?
There isn't any specific community center ones that I'm aware of, but they do a lot of, they're also local, on Rockville Road, so close by to us.
Okay, all right, love it, okay. All right. Any questions? No. All right, I've got a motion by Clerk Wright and supported by trustee Frazier. Hearing no further questions. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Number 5, discussion and consider approval of the agreement between Van Buren Community Players and the Van Buren Township to authorize us an agreement. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Boynton.
I move that we approve of the agreement between Van Buren Community Players and Van Buren Township and authorize the supervisor and clerk to execute the agreement.
Great. Perfect. Okay.
Good evening, board. We're very excited to bring this item to you tonight for your approval. A couple months ago, we were contacted by a group of very energetic and talented people that were looking to form a theater group and had heard that we had a potential location. After several meetings discussing logistics, operations, and responsibilities, the Van Buren Community Players came to be a reality. Our department could not be more excited to join forces with this group that will be bringing at least 4 performances a year to the community center. The contract has been reviewed and approved by Township Legal, and we are hopeful that you would also approve of this awesome partnership. We do have a couple representatives of the Van Buren Community Players here with us tonight, Justine Maldonado and Cindy Fry, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you all may have.
Mona, does anybody have any questions?
Are they doing a little act now?
Maybe some improv. Yeah, improv, there you go. Tap forms.
Tell us how you're gonna integrate into the community with one of your plays.
Well, we're starting our first play, Steel Magnolias.
So closer to the people that,
We're starting our first with Steel Magnolias. We probably have 25 years of experience with all of us, and it's a very popular play. We are also going to take one of our characters, hopefully, and do bingo with Weezer for the bingo night. So we really want to tie in. We're buying shirts from local, we're banking local, we're doing everything.
what actors and set producers, so they
You
love
want
doing
an audition?
that. No, I don't.
Well, you were smiling, I thought we could use you.
But are you?
Oh, yes, yeah. So I worked with a lot of actors from Van Buren before. So I'm hoping to get them to come out and audition for some of the plays. We're doing, we're doing a Christmas play, we're doing a dinner theater. So we're very excited about all of this.
Any other questions?
And all of you are welcome to come out.
Oh, we'll be there. We have any theater in the round, since we have a box, we have a theater in the round thing.
We will be doing that, maybe not the first season,
Yeah.
but we are going to do that. We're getting, we're going to try and partner with Yankee Air Force Museum and do something about Robot Riveter. So we're from the community, we're of the community, so we're very, very excited about it.
Am I offline, thinking there might be a theater camp out on the street or no?
Yes, not this summer, probably next year.
And we do children's shows too, where we have a seniors group, a children's or a juniors group, and then everybody.
I'm told that the theater camps are extremely popular and just they fill up just like that, so.
We're also thinking of doing a Van Buren Idol kind of.
Oh,
Yeah, so we really want to get the community involved.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we hope to see you guys there.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited, all right.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you
Yes.
for all your efforts, and we appreciate them greatly.
These two have been wonderful.
Yeah, they have, absolutely.
We thank them, but they don't.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that was, I mean, trustee Boynton made that, forwarded that, the clerk Wright was seconded. Hearing any further questions? You have a question? No. Okay, all right. I hear no further questions, so all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is discussion, number 6 is gone.
And see.
What's that?
It's
See, oh, that's right, okay. Okay. All right, number 7. Discussion on and to consider approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $481,000 from fund balance to capital outlay safe streets.
I'll do it again through the chair.
I was gonna say, wait a second. Is this coming out of the Buren General Fund?
No.
This is out of TDA, isn't it?
This is actually out of township general fund.
But it's reimbursed, right? I thought it was all run out of DDA, reimbursed in the DDA. Okay, never mind.
But now,
You're good now. Sorry.
I move that we approve a budget amendment in the amount of $481,900 from fund balance into 227-000-971-009 capital outlay safe streets.
I guess support.
Support.
It was Mr. Kelly at the time, trustee Kelly. All right. So, Director Colbert.
Good evening, board. As you can recall, back in 2022, the Van Buren TVA applied for the Safe Streets for All grant through the Federal Highway Association. And in February of 2023, we were made aware that we were awarded that. So just as a reminder, this is a reimbursable grant. So we spend our funds up front
And then through the United States DOT Department Delphi system, I upload our invoices to them. I did have to go through training and get a certification in order to get all those qualifications met and do monthly reporting so that we can show where we are at in this project to make sure that we are staying on track with our deadline of October of this year. So just a little bit more clarity on the budget. Yes, it does come out of the township fund balance. It'll go into an expense account. So they'll see in the budget that there'll be an expense account and a reimbursement account. The 20% match for this grant is $97,000 and DDA is covering that full 20% match, which is already been put into the reimbursement line item. So the full project cost is $481,900 with the township DDA match of 97 brings the grant award to $384,900.
But clerk, right?
Ask the question.
Yeah, no, I got a question right now.
Sounds right. Can you give a brief description of Safe Suites and, definitions and what it's all about?
Absolutely. So the Safe Streets for All is the safety action plan for the entire township. With this project, Waitrim is our consultant that the board had approved back in November of 2023. With that, a steering committee has been created of local community members, some of our employee staff members, as well as our HOA members are on this steering committee. We meet once a month, and we will be rolling out our community engagement portion of this project, which is a very heavily scored part of the project that we have to meet for our requirements. So there will be an online survey that will be out there, so to get the community's input for this. And what this does is you take a look at the map and you pinpoint those areas in which you feel it's not safe, you don't feel safe to travel, but it's an area that you would like us to incorporate in a way to mitigate that safety, that concern. So part of this plan does weigh heavily on the Belleville Road corridor. As we know that that's one of our heaviest roads within our community. So we have two plans actually. We have one just basically for the Belleville Road corridor, but it is kind of going back together with the safety action plan, which is for the entire township as a whole. So with this is an action plan. It is our goal with an action plan, then we'll be able to apply for implementation funds. And that is to be able to, once we narrow down what the priorities are of the community and together with the administration to make sure that we are prioritizing that. And then the implementation fund grant that we'll apply for will help us to target each priority one at a time and resolve those.
Through the chair.
Yes.
We need to correct some numbers in here because it is coming from the general fund, so there needs to be the 101 number. So if you could correct your motion and then.
How do I correct it?
Well,
the numbers.
Well, I don't know what the numbers are, but we need to make it so that the numbers will be corrected in the long run. The general fund number will be 101.
Okay, so we're gonna be taking it out of the general fund and placing it into a fund designated exclusively for Safe Streets for All.
Right.
Let's make it that, let's just make it that simple and Dan can fix it, Sean.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
So moved. In addition, yeah, there you go.
You can amend it, Mr. Boynton, Josie Kelly, thank you. Okay, so there's gonna be a survey out there, taking the survey, and in it, I mentioned the fact that maybe we want a left-hand turn light at Tyler and Belleville Road. And then it asked me for what I thought about that, and I said, because people get into an accident, it's dangerous, then it asked me, I said, well, we need maybe some trees cut down around Tyler and Ecorse, you can see around the edge. I'm saying this to everybody, you tell everybody you know. This survey is going to let you complain about every single road that's bugged you, every single street sign, every single stoplight, every tree that's in the way. You can complain all you want, and once we get it all assigned, then we can develop a plan around it, and once we have a plan, the federal government will start listening to us and they'll allow us to go to step 2, which is money to fix it.
And if I can add to that, even if you forget to add something, but someone else has already put, you can vote on the areas in which you feel need to be a priority. So if it only has one, somebody's listed it, you can go in and check the box that you agree with that. So it'll populate the opinions to those that are already put in there.
Good. All right, I have a revised, motion by trustee Boynton and supported by trustee Kelly. Do I hear any other discussion?
Did you vote on the first one yet? There was 2.
We're, okay, the revision is that we are going to take $481,900 from fund balance and place it in a capital outlay account for safe streets that will be created by Dan and Sean.
That's the revision.
Okay. I hear no further discussion, so I'm gonna say everybody, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's sorry. You got fund balance money going on because it looks like the way to the DDA. That's not the way it goes, so. All right, you're back. All right, discussion on to consider approval of resolution, a resolution of necessity authorizing us to commence eminent domain proceedings on Belleville Road. Can I get a motion? So, trustee Boynton. Support. Trustee Kelly. Okay, director.
Thank you, Bart. So just a little history on this project. So there are 56 parcels on Belleville Road between Ecorse and Tyler. Currently, we have acquired 46 of those parcels, leaving 10 remaining. So the DDA has been working adamantly over the last several years to acquire these. And back in 2016, there was 28 parcels. They were able to acquire 14, leaving an additional 14 left. So remaining. So in 2023, we began again we contracted with O.R. Colin to help us to acquire the remaining 14. After several attempts to reach these property owners, we were successful to be able to obtain 4 of those, leaving 10. Additional reach outs to the property owners, trying to give them and present them with the offer, as well as to try to negotiate. We were not able to, we came to an impasse. So a letter was sent to those, letting them know that the township had reached a point of impasse, and we would be seeking other options to be able to acquire those last 10. So with that, the DDA contracted with William Ratner and Plunkett, which we do have Jason Long here from WWRP to answer any questions as well. But at this point, we are now to the point where with the funding that we have in place, we can no longer wait or take the can down the road to see if we can try to acquire these last 10. So our attorneys from WWRP, both Jerry Pesic and Jason Long, have mailed out one final request to try to come to a negotiation with the last 10 in order to try to avoid having to go to court. But this resolution that is before you is a necessity in order to proceed with the court proceedings, if that is deemed how we need to go.
Any questions?
Through the chair.
Trustee Martin.
I have a question concerning, the parcel at 7810 Belleville Road, where you, want to, acquire the entire property. Explain it to me, please.
So that property, if you recall, is the home that is it's next door to the storage place across from the fire department. So with that home is right into where the road improvement would take place. So we need to acquire the property because the home will have to be demolished. Because there is a home along with a garage on the property, it'll be a very hard for us to justify only taking the home, so it is a full take, so that we can't leave the garage by itself without the house, so.
It's a vacant home?
It is occupied right now.
We have an attorney here that probably can describe it. Are you familiar with that house or anything?
I am, and, what Barry described was correct. A few additional facts that put a little more context on it. As Barry said, the home is within the area that needs to be acquired to widen Belleville Road, so the road would cut off the front of the house. Can't leave the property owner with, an unusable home. There are also provisions in Michigan condemnation law that provide that if we have a partial acquisition of a property, which is what all the others are, where we're just taking the strip of frontage. But that partial acquisition impacts the economic viability of the rest of the property. The property owner can make a claim and say, you don't get to take just this piece, you need to acquire the whole thing. If the court or a jury were to agree with the owner about that, that would leave the township in the position. So if we didn't just do it, and the owner made a claim like that, that would leave the township in the position of both paying for the property in total, plus paying a significant attorney fee to the property owner because the property owner succeeded in showing a total taking. This property it has a home on it, but it's actually zoned commercial. So by taking the home, demolishing the home, which is going to be necessary to build the road, you're sort of throwing property owner into the commercial real estate business, because what's going to be left is going to be a vacant parcel of commercial land. Rather than putting a property owner in that position, and potentially facing the downside that could come with it in court, we think the more prudent approach is to acquire the whole property, get the property owner into a new home. The township will then own what is left of the property and can resell it, sell it to the adjoining owner, hold on to it for some, a use that the township wants to make it. We'll give the township more options that way, and we think it's more economically prudent and avoids a lot of downside by just acquiring the property.
Does the property owner, in agreement with this? I mean, I don't see that they are, since you're imposing eminent domain.
The property owner has expressed that he is not opposed to it, but he's sort of been non-committal about the whole thing. It doesn't seem to us that he is in opposition to essentially selling this entire property to the township. It just hasn't done. So, as Mary said, we're on the clock, and we think this will. So this is, we're so hopeful that we can reach an agreement with him and all the property owners. But if we can't, this allows us to move to the next stage, which we don't have a certain court to ask the court. Grant the township the rights necessary to comply.
I mean, to acquire a right of way is one thing, but to acquire an entire property and develop its own, that's something entirely different. Have we talked to this property owner recently? I mean, is there some ongoing negotiation, or?
We've reached out to him, we have not heard back from him.
I can comment. I can relay the conversations that O.R. Cohen, our previous consultant, had with the property owner, and he has expressed his interest. He's ready to move.
We have offered a premium on the property.
Chair, you did mention that the township will be assisting the current occupant of the property in finding another place to dwell.
That's correct. In fact, we have an obligation to assist him to the extent that he wants us to do that.
Okay.
So this project began under City King. That's how long we've been trying to get these properties, these easements approved, so that we can make Belleville Road safe, put in sidewalks, and widen it, and straighten it out, and all these other things. These last 10 are the 10 of probably that, it's not that they say no, it's just that they don't even respond. And so we hope that most of these people are not going to go to court. They're just going to suddenly realize they have to respond and find out that they got a pretty sweet deal in front of them. So, I mean, we are offering a surcharge on this, but those sidewalks are going in. And we need to do it now for a lot of reasons. One is we've been putting money together, we've been putting funds together, we got, I don't know, $2 million probably from Fez, $500,000 from Dingle, how much,
1.2 million for Michigan infrastructure,
now we will apply for a raise grant for $6 million,
7.5 million.
7.5. If that comes through, it's game over. We've got more than enough to do it. That will have another embarrassment of riches. But, if it doesn't, we're going to go after what's called, the Transportation Economic Development Funds for corridors, which we've been promised we'll get as soon as they finish Ford Road in Canton. But that was when Ford Road in Canton was supposed to be started this year and next year. They forgot to do one thing, which they think they can do in the next 24 or 12 months. They forgot to get easements, which we've been working on since Sandy King. So we know they're not gonna be able to start this thing up. So if we get the raise grant, we start. If we don't, we leapfrog hopefully Canton on Ford Road, we start. But we can't do any starting unless we get those 10 easements. I'm against eminent domain, but this has gotten ridiculous. It's jeopardizing the safety of our public now. All right, any other discussion? Okay, I've got a motion by trustee White, supported by trustee Kelly. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, let's consider discussion on and consider approval of a resolution, request of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission to keep the city of Belleville, Van Buren Township, and Sumter Township together and intact. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I move to consider approval of resolution 2024-06. Request that the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Committee keep the city of Belleville and Buren Township and Sumter Township together and
Support.
Okay, we have motion support. Okay, so I got a phone call Monday saying, hey, they may be cutting Van Buren up in the redistricting. I said, no, they said they're not gonna leave the city of Detroit, maybe a couple of the surrounding communities. They said, no, it's happened, another community has gone to them and expressed concern that they want to be a community of interest that's taken all in. And so we went online, we couldn't find this being cut in half or cut up at all. But it turns out we are. They did it in an area and they put it instead of a PDF file or GIF file or files that were Adobe file that we know, they put it into a geographical information system file, GIS file. I had to have our GIS people open it, and when I opened it, I discovered that something was cut out on one, another one has it going Morton Taylor Road to, from Tyler to Van Born, and Morton Taylor Road west is cut out of the rest of it. So we, right here would be we're actually in a different area as Quirksop. I mean, it's that bad, it's all cut up. So I contacted the Supervisor Bowman and Mayor Boyd, and they agreed that they don't want to split up, that there's safety in numbers together. So they have a resolution just like ours, and they're approving theirs. I think they did maybe yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
Double. Something's gonna approve theirs at the next meeting. And I'm gonna go back and testify that we need to be kept together, so hopefully we will. Yes.
I I totally agree with the concept, but we all know why they're splitting up, why we're being redistricted, why they're splitting it. We think this is gonna help.
Yes. Because they weren't gonna put us together last time. They didn't have any maps of us together. But if you look at the record of the redistricting record, in Southeast Michigan, we're the only communities that actually did resolutions and said we're together. Everything else was done by, mayors showing up and saying, yeah, we want to be with these people, or, oh, Kelly's group showed up and they wanted to be with their area, or they had another group of people that showed up and so we want to be with this area over here. But we were the only actual governments that did anything, and they took our line almost first, if you see it, then they figured it out from there. I think it'll help. We didn't get that $12 million because, I mean, Reggie was a huge part of it, but you still gotta go through the Senate. Right now, we have the number two, we have the Senate pro tem guy at number two. I don't wanna lose that. Number one and number two, we really don't have a lot of color. They attach us to Canton and Plymouth Township, which is one of the maps. Yeah, that's not gonna do us real good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I just hope this, gonna have some input on this commission. Independent Citizen Redistricting Commission. I hope that has a platform.
It's easy for me to do. I just gotta go there, wait my turn, like we do here in the Senate, and pass up. Communications is making a brochure. Why? We got a lot of stuff going on here. We got the library, we got the schools, we got the museum. We now have Boys and Girls Club that's joined in. We have the theater club, and that's not gonna just be Van Buren, maybe say Van Buren. We've got the Belleville Area Council of the Arts. We've got everything around here, Belleville Area Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot of stuff going on around here that we work together on. And far more than almost any other community I know. I think we got a good argument.
So.
It's the next meeting.
18th. Sure. More the merrier.
I think we should all show up.
Yeah. We'll let you know. I don't even know where it is. I just know I saw it on the. All I know is I was told that this is going super fast, now it's going down. If we don't get involved now, we're out. So. All right, I have a motion by Trustee Kelly, supported by Treasurer Bud. Hearing any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Reports today, we have none. Public comments, anybody from the public that wishes to come forward and speak on any topic they desire? Okay. Board comments, anybody from the board need to come? No. Call for adjournment. Get a motion. One second. And Bud. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?